4, a first alert if you're packing a sandwich for lunch today. Put it down. Listen to this. People getting sick from deli meats. And we have a case here in Wisconsin. Local officials now have a warning as well. Aisha's at the first alert safety desk. Good morning.
Good morning, Emerson. We're dealing with an active Listeria outbreak right now. Local and state health officials are concerned this morning. 2 people have died outside of Wisconsin. The outbreak has been linked to meats sliced at delis. Specific products related to this outbreak have not yet been identified, but we'll keep you posted. And what you're seeing right here is the latest map as of this morning from the CDC. It shows the cases we have so far. 28 people have been hospitalized aside from the 2 people that died. 28 have been hospitalized in 12 states. The CDC and Wisconsin Department of Health say Listeria can be really serious for people who are pregnant, anybody who is 65 or older, or if you have a weakened immune system. Officials say these groups should not eat meat sliced at deli counters unless they have been reheated to 165 degrees Fahrenheit or until steaming hot. Some of the symptoms of Listeria include fever, muscle aches, tiredness. The CDC says Listeria is killed by pasteurization and cooking. However, in some ready-to-eat foods like hot dogs and lunch meats, contamination may happen after cooking but before packaging. Remember to keep uncooked meats separate from cooked and ready-to-eat foods. I'll follow this closely and bring you those first alert updates, Tammy.